and welcome to another round of Sports Views. Tonight, I'm going to round up the preliminary round, or what was played last week, of the CONCACAF League, and predict the round of 16, and predict the preliminary round tie, even though you know my prediction of it. Re-predict it. Gonna be the same prediction, but restate it. For next week's games, and explain everything, and a little bit of news. But a preliminary roundup, round of 16 predictions. So, we will start with a preliminary roundup, the round of 16 predictions. Then I will give you the news of the CONCACAF League, because technically that new development takes place after the round of 16 anyway. So we're going to go by chronological order here. First off, we will talk about Arca versus Verdez. Would have been played last Tuesday as the first match of the CONCACAF League, got postponed due to 4 Verdez players testing positive for COVID-19. Verdez did not want to risk fines for a second play and people retesting positive and it being canceled and forfeited anyway. So Verdez, on their own accord, forfeited. Arca advances to the CONCACAF League round of 16 on a forfeit. I predicted Verdez to win that match, so we're going to take that as a wrong prediction. So I'm 0 for 1 in my preliminary round predictions so far. Second match, which was actually the first match of the tournament. CD Faz versus Managua, 1-1. Managua wins on penalties 5-4 with the upset. What an amazing match. Was a very tight match. Was a very hard-fought match, and Managua comes out with it. And I picked Managua to win that match, so I'm 1 for 2 right now. The third match of the preliminary round, Club Atlético Independiente de la Chorrera versus Antigua GFC, 0-0 on the night, and penalties, 4-2 on penalties for Antigua, 2-4 on penalties for Antigua. Antigua GFC moves on to the round of 16 to face CD Marathon, which we'll get to that. Managua moves on to play Olympia. Arca moves on to play Waterhouse, but we'll get to that. Antigua Independiente was a game where Independiente played cocky for being Toronto Giant Slayers in the 2019 CONCACAF Champions League. They weren't great. They didn't have the players, some of the players that helped them win that tie. They still had Omar Brownie. They still had Guerra in goal. They still had Cordoba. They still had him, but they didn't have many of those players. They played cocky, though, because of their history. And Antigua shut them down, won on penalties, and it was well-deserved for them. The fourth game of the round. That means I'm 1 for 3 on predictions, by the way. Municipal Limeño versus Forge FC. 1-2, Forge FC moves on to face Tauro of Panama in the round of 16 next week. Forge FC plays them. Forge had an amazing game. They did well, and they were great. They did go down a man, but they had some resolve that I've never seen a team have going down a man, because normally I watch Toronto. They're not good playing down a man or even up a man. But Forge, they fought to win that game. They still pressed forward. They tried to defend, but they still pressed forward a good bit. And they won the match. And the final match that was played during the preliminary round week was Motagua 2, Comunicaciones 2, 15-14 on penalties for Motagua. 36 penalty round, or penalty shot in the shootout. 36! I've never seen something like that. Comunicaciones had an early 2-0 lead at halftime. Motagua comes back, races back, off some bad defensive mistakes by Comunicaciones, sends it to penalties and wins on penalties, had better penalty takers and wins. That means I'm 3 for 5 in my predictions, because I picked Motagua to go through, and I also picked Forge to go through. So that's 2 that I missed. Those 2 that I, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll be 4 out of 6 if I get this right. Alajuelense in Sabao was postponed on Thursday of last week because of test inconsistencies for COVID tests on Alajuelense, and they postponed it, but they will be playing 5 p.m. on Wednesday next week during the other round of 16 ties. They finish off the preliminary round ties, Alajuelense versus Sabao. As I said, I predicted Alajuelense to win that tie, and if that's correct, I will be 4 out of 6 on preliminary round ties. If that's wrong, I'll bat 500, 3 out of 6, but we'll see. But they will play that at 5 p.m. during the preliminary, or the rest of the round of 16 ties. They're going to get that played. And they're moving San Francisco FC versus whoever wins that match. That will be the last round of 16 tied played. Probably in the middle of November. It's not going to be in December. They'll probably play that in the middle of November when they can. Neither of their players are going to get called up because no CONCACAF internationals. They'll probably play that in the middle of the month and finish it off, and we'll have the quarterfinals in December. Round of 16 predictions. First, on Tuesday, Tauro versus Forge. I think Forge is going to win. I think Forge will move on. I think they will win as Road Warriors. They'll get some of their players back. They won't have Johnny Grant in the defense because he got suspended, 2 yellow cards, got out, got sent off, got out of the game. He was out. But they'll get their players back. Some of their players back. I think Forge could beat Tauro. I think they will. They'll rise to the challenge. That's what they've been doing in this tournament. They beat teams around this level. It's teams like Olympia that scare me and Saprissa that scare me. But I think Forge could get it done. The next match is Antigua Marathon. CD Marathon versus Antigua. I think Antigua GFC will move on. They have the talent to beat teams. They have the talent to play each other. They have the talent to win this game. I think Antigua's a good side. They have a good defense. Their offense isn't the best, but their defense is strong, hard to play against. I think Antigua will go through as the away team. And that's your second prediction of the round of 16. The next match, Arca High versus Waterhouse FC of Jamaica. I think Waterhouse will go through, and here's why. Because Waterhouse is a good team. They're both good teams. But Arca High is going into this tie cold. Waterhouse and Arca High are both playing this tie cold in the words of CONCACAF League. Yes, they may have played in their leagues, domestic leagues, but in a league like this, if you have momentum going in from a round before, that's good to have, especially in one-leg ties. I think Waterhouse will take that to their advantage. They both start on the same momentum. I think Waterhouse will go through to the quarterfinals. The next match, Olympia versus Managua. CD Olympia versus Managua. I think Olympia is going to go through. It's going to be a walkover. Managua were the underdogs of the first match against Foz. Olympia is going to have their way. They are going to stomp them out. That is just the way it is. Then, for the next match, Deportivo Saprissa versus Municipal of Guatemala, not Limeño, as we said. I think Saprissa will go through. They're your champions. They will show why they are reigning champions. They will fight for every inch, fight for every ball, and they'll come out the winners, deservedly so. Saprissa. The next match, CS Herediano versus Real Esteli. I think Herediano will go through. They've taken games to teams like Atlanta. They've taken games to other MLS and Mexican sides. I believe in Herediano to win this match. Herediano will go through over Real Esteli to the quarterfinals. And the final known match, Alianza versus Motagua. I think Alianza will go through. I think Alianza is the better team. Alianza is the tougher team. Alianza is the more offensive team. They've nearly beaten teams like Tigres and Monterrey. They've taken them to the limit. Motagua did not do that against Atlanta United. Yes, they've beaten Comunicaciones, which was a team that almost beat Club America, sent them to penalties, but I do not think that luck will keep on going from Ottawa. Alianza will send them home. And that is the 7th round of 16 tie that we know that I'm predicting. And I will also predict the one we don't know that will be played later on this month, or November, because this is still October for a couple of days, in November. The winner of Alajuelense versus Sabao versus San Francisco FC. I think the winner of Alajuelense/Sabao will win that tie. I think they're both better teams than San Francisco FC. And I just think that they will do what they need to do, even if they're there away. Alajuelense or Sabao was going to win and finish out the quarterfinal field. So, after that, the round of 16 predictions, the preliminary round roundup, I have one piece of news. They will continue on. CONCACAF will continue on with the single leg ties after the round of 16. They have made this announcement for the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the final. There will be only single leg ties for the rest of the tournament, and the quarterfinal losers to qualify the last 2 teams from the CONCACAF League to the Champions League, the CONCACAF Champions League. There will be shadow semifinals between the losers, that's what I like to call them, between the losers of the quarterfinals, and the winner of those 2 playoffs, the 2 winners of those playoffs, will move on to the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League in 2021 with the 4 semifinalists. So we will know by January, if not late December, who is going to the Champions League out of the CONCACAF League. You have 3 chances if you get past this round. Or 2, should I say. Only Forge has 3. If they get past the round of 16. You have 2 chances if you get to the quarterfinals. Win your quarterfinal and go to the semifinals, or win the playoff if you lose your quarterfinal. Forge has the extra added chance of facing Toronto FC in the Voyageurs Cup, either sometime in November after the MLS regular season is over, or after Toronto gets knocked out of the playoffs / the MLS Cup, because the winner of the Voyageurs Cup goes to the Champions League as well for Canada. So they also have that extra chance. 3 for them, 2 for everybody else. But that is the new news. Every tie is a 1-leg tie for the rest of this CONCACAF League, and the 2 other qualifiers with the 4 that where the semifinalists will qualify from playoffs. The losing quarterfinalists will play each other in playoffs to qualify the other 2 teams to go with the other 4 for the 6 that qualify from the CONCACAF League, the 2021 Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League. So with all that said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. On Sunday, I have 2 pieces of content for you. 2. A Philadelphia versus Columbus live stream reaction at 2 o'clock, 2:30 Central Time. It's either 2 or 2:30, but I'll check that. But there will be, you'll see it scheduled, a live stream reaction for Columbus versus Philadelphia, because there's still an outside chance that Toronto FC can win the Supporter Shield if everything goes right in the situation of Columbus beats or draws Philadelphia, Toronto FC beats Inter Miami on Sunday, then on decision day, Columbus either draws or loses, Philadelphia either draws or loses to New England, and Toronto beats the Red Bulls on decision day. Toronto has to win twice, and Philadelphia has to draw or lose twice, because even then, Toronto would still have a higher points per game than them if they win 3, because they would have 47 points. If Philadelphia draws twice, they would have 46. So Toronto would still have 1 more point and have a higher points per game. So if they decide to shield by that, they would have both the points and the points per game, because MLS also changed their qualification for the playoffs to points per game because of Colorado and the COVID problems in the West. But you had to do it for both conferences. So yeah. And then, as I said, I will do an RSR, like always, for Toronto FC versus Inter Miami. The one game they have fans at, well, 3, because there was 1 in February away and 1 in March, the home opener. But the first match since COVID that they have fans at Rentschler Field, November 1st against Inter Miami. I will be have an RSR for that, doing a review for that. on Sunday. Lost my train of thought there. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace.